Good evening, ladies and gents, back with another Conquerors Blade video. This time around we're going to be looking at the patch notes which are dropping for tomorrow. So then, the patch dropping tomorrow for Conquerors Blade is the first one after the season release last week. Now, there is a few juicy kind of morsels coming into this. As always, put me on in the background so you can just listen to this, or you can read along as I am going through the video. So, upcoming content, we've got the ping system. They have delayed this until the update on December the 8th, so this should be coming next week. Doctrinal Alchemy. So they've added a button where we can now see all possible doctrines available as part of the Doctrinal Alchemy system. So we can actually see if once we can get if you have good or bad RNG. It says you will receive a warning when adding leadership and unit exclusive doctrines as materials, but bear in mind our version of the game does not have leadership doctrines, so it is quite nice though to have a warning when we are going to be putting in some unit exclusive doctrines, because we all know someone, Eftana, who has already done this and has managed to balls it up a little bit and lost a unit exclusive doctrine. PvE modes, so deploy and defend, they have changed this around a little bit, so they have improved the UI and interaction prompts. Enemy heroes that pass through your defense now deduct 5 points from your score. You can choose what units to bring in the pre-deployment menu up to the leadership cap, adjusted the number of enemies and waves, adjusted the unit size and vision of some deployable units, and they have added some obstacles. They have made some changes to the Tour of Varus map. So they have changed they've reduced the camp's flag radius size. They've added an unbreakable steel shutter to the upper half part of the defender's camp spawn point doorway, added some destroyable constructions to the camp area. So I'm just going to be going through very slowly so you can have a look at all these kind of new things that have a big yellow box around them in the pictures, just so you can see a few differences here. Nothing too major. Nothing too major, but a few nice changes anyway. Valley Fortress, they have adjusted the structure around the point C and the supply point next to C. The wooden frames atop the gate near the supply point next to C can now be destroyed. Orgolia, the tutorial, they've improved the water effect near point A. Miscellaneous, they've added a counter displaying how many skills you have been hit by to your death info, which is viewable upon death. Improved the previewing display for unit attires in the unit customization menu when selecting a component of a set that the unit is unable to equip. So they have done some more longsword balancing and optimizations. So I am going to read this word for word. The longsword and shield provides amazing support, and while we want to improve its versatility and feeling in combat to give you a bigger room for fun gameplay, that's something that we wish to retain. We've reworked its two core support skills, Mercy of Heaven and Nightly Vows, with the launch of Season Scorpio. However, their cooldowns have made it difficult to use skills to fit the situation at hand. Therefore, we have made the following adjustments to the mentioned skills. So Mercy of Heaven now has an 18-second cooldown. You can use Nightly Vows immediately after Mercy of Heaven. Whether or not you use Nightly Vows, the skill reverts back to Mercy of Heaven after 18 seconds. For you longsword players, I'm sure that makes sense. That means pretty much nothing to me. I don't know if that's a good change, if that's a buff or a nerf. You can let me know down in the comments below, that'd be very kind of you. A couple of bug fixes there. So they've resolved an issue where the hero weapon spear and pike didn't recover stamina while mounted under certain circumstances. Units, they resolved an issue where the Demesne Javelineers, the Pavis crossbowmen, and the Monastic Knight's movement speed didn't match that of their shown stats. Resolved an issue where the Symmetry and Stalwart's health recovery upon brace block didn't trigger as intended. Resolved an issue where not all doctrines were displayed if you had equipped too many of the same type of doctrine. Resolved an issue where shield maidens would be granted the stand fast skill after interacting with the supply point. Resolved an issue where too many Lotus Water was needed to remove the Zealous Morale doctrine. Maps resolved an issue where the brightness on some maps could not be changed. Empyrean Sands resolved an issue where the invisible wall protection effect didn't work on the map's respawn point. Resolved issues with mode clashes and unit pathing, and Curate Castle Redux resolved some issues with the unit pathfinding data. So a few changes there, a few different kind of fixes, optimizations and everything like that. Nothing too major, nothing really to write home about this week. Let me know if that longsword change is a buff or a nerf, because I'm genuinely not a not a clue if that is good or bad. Let me know how you're finding projects. I keep saying Project Scorpio. Let me know how you are finding Season Scorpio so far, though. We are a week in. We've had our first proper TW. How are you finding the season? How are you finding the new unit? How are you finding the newly changed maps as well? And how are you finding the new Doctrinal Alchemy system? There's been a few hiccups since we've launched into Season Scorpio, but those hiccups are very quickly getting sorted out, which is nice to see. As always, folks, please hit me up in the comments, hit that like button, share this video around, all that lovely fan doobie stuff, and I hope to catch you out in the desert.